Religious leaders in the country have called on the government to tighten its surveillance and intelligence to weed out shady individuals who are either fleecing or harming Kenyans in the name of religion.
Speaking to Citizen TV, Nyeri Archdiocese Bishop Anthony Muheria castigated the mushrooming of unscrupulous religious groupings which outrightly involve themselves in gross violation of human rights. Well, this even as a section of stakeholders called for a review of the Societies Act to have separate regulations for the registration of religious groupings in order to heighten surveillance and scrutinize the doctrines in certain religions. Laura Otieno reports.
As news of the discovery of more bodies in Shakahola continue to dominate headlines, the doctrines pushed by controversial Pastor Paul Mackenzie have once again raised questions on the regulations guiding the registration of religious societies in Kenya. Some of the videos of his preaching outrightly discouraging his congregation from seeking medical attention. Nyeri Archbishop Anthony Muheria leading religious leaders in castigating rogue elements hiding behind the scriptures.
Religion cannot be and should not be the cause of people losing life. Radical extremism that people have to do exceptional things in order to gain blessings from God.
Let us not hide under this cover of freedom of expression or freedom of religion and worship that is provided for in our constitution. We must hold pastors accountable.
In 2022, the government lifted an 8-year moratorium on registration of churches, introducing more stringent measures in a bid to streamline religious groupings in the country. In the new requirements, any person identifying as a cleric ought to present a diploma or degree in theology from a recognized institution, present a certificate of good conduct, and among other things, a letter of recommendation from a registered umbrella religious society. The religious society seeking registration must also furnish the Registrar of Societies with a constitution complete with a statement of their doctrine of faith. The society must also declare all charitable activities it engages in and furnish the registrar with either a tax compliance or exemption certificate. Once operational, the religious society should also declare their sources of funding every year. Despite the existence of these regulations, a section of stakeholders have called for separate registration of religious groups in order to allow scrutiny of some of the entities expressing interest.
If you apply the same rules as you would apply to a normal society, then you're going to miss a lot in terms of your capability or your ability to test the doctrines of these churches that we are seeing.
Kenya is the second country in Eastern Africa to introduce regulations in churches after Rwanda, which introduced regulations in 2018, directing all clerics to obtain a valid certificate in religious studies before opening a church. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.